Thank you so much for being with us on a Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Kevin Ricca.
And we are the Week 9 NFC East favorites?
He's Tim Strachan. Oh, you know what? I got to give T some
Nice.
sound. There you are. Sorry. He's Tim Strachan, this time with sound.
Yeah. Happy election night, I guess. This is a weird show, man.
Vote for
It's a weird.
sound. Vote for sound. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, this is, thank God it's Tuesday, where we cover the greatest teams in the land. That would be our teams in Washington, D.C. Most notably the Washington football team, who is, I think we can all agree, the favorite to win the NFC East at this point. And I really don't know how you even argue with that. I want to welcome everyone from Hogs Haven. We are the official Washington football team podcast of Hogs Haven. And we are also pleased to welcome all these fine gentlemen and ladies on the board tonight. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Time to talk a little turkey. Almost. Washington football team had a bye. We don't do buys in the basement. We are continuing to be in action. I just don't know any other way to say that we are, in fact, I think, the best team in the NFC East. And that might be the saddest thing you've ever heard on this show, but I think it's true.
We're not scrubbing turds here. This is this is analytical.
Yeah.
This isn't from the heart. This is kind of, we didn't start here. We wound up here mid-season.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. And we have an awesome defense. That gets it done in a terrible division. We have a terrible offensive line, which you expect to see in the worst division in football. And we got just overachievers at a couple other positions and the legitimate stud or two. Mixing a Terry McLaurin, who can start on anyone's team, and Antonio Gibson, who looks like he's turning into a player in this league. I think you have a chance to do some damage and I think, T, if you look at the schedule coming up, let's start on Sunday. I mean, we play the Giants. I mean, there's just nothing scary about what we have going on in our lives right now from a scheduling standpoint.
That scares me.
I don't know. Yeah, every Sunday scares me. It's going to be Halloween every Sunday from here on out. This is crazy. I kind of feel like Ricky Bobby when he was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do. I don't. I usually feel like I got a pulse on things, and I know we're trending or where we're going. Who knows what's going to happen any Sunday in this damn NFC East? I think it's hilarious. Most people want to change the rules so that NFC East doesn't even get a team in.
Well, first of all, we're going to get a team in. That's going to happen.
One team goes
one
in
team
from the East.
They're talking about expanding the playoffs in the NFL. I don't know. There's no number of teams they can expand to that would create the NFC East more than our one team.
It don't matter for us.
If they let 31 teams in, or 30, they're going to keep the NFC East out. I got no problem with that. I totally respect that, NFL. But the Washington football team lining up in an actual football game in the National Football League against the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, or the Dallas Cowboys, I like my team's chances.
I do too. I do. I feel that way. Now, of course, we can lose to any of them. Don't get us wrong. Just if you look at it, two of the last 2 weeks, we've been favorites. We opened up it before last night at -3.5 for the Giants game. I mean, I get it. There's your three. So, yeah, no one knows what to do with the NFC East.
And the Giants beat us already. So, I mean, don't get me wrong.
And they're 1-7 with one win. And Daniel Jones has won 5 times in his life at the NFL level. And 3 of those 5
are against us.
Are against these guys.
The reason why, technically, truly, I think, is because of our defense. We got the best defense in the NFC East. That's going to give you the best odds with the schedule that Kevin's going to highlight coming up. I mean, Literally, that's and you talk about studs. Can I tease our previous show just a little bit? The
You just say,
WCAC
yeah, yes, please.
with both Chase Young and Kendall Fuller, both WCAC guys. Chase from DeMatha and Kendall from Good Counsel. They're the highest rated players on our team at their position. This is homegrown, man. This is great, and this is what's going to carry us possibly into the playoffs. For guys like that, those are the studs you were talking about. Those are the studs that Rivera refers to, especially on the defensive side, along with Jonathan Allen, also another DMV guy. That's what's making this great for me, honestly.
I love. I'm gonna. I don't want to. We're not gonna play it on the show. We're gonna play it on the board. Let the guys chime in. Greg Martin suggested it, and he has 11 days till he gets married. So I'm gonna give him a lot of leeway on content suggestions because that's
Election night bachelor party.
election night bachelor party.
Sicko.
You heard it here first. The president and vice president of the offense and the defense for the next 4 years. You got to elect two guys to lead the charge on either side of the ball. We'll come back to that at the end of the show with some of the answers given on the board by the folks here. I think that when I talk about us versus the NFC East, I think it makes a lot of sense. And the first thing you'll tell me is you'll say, well, okay, yeah, you're going to play your schedule, and they got to play their schedule. Yeah, well, guess what? That favors us too. The schedule ahead of us, again, everyone's scheduling us for their homecoming game. I get it. They're going to have the alumni in town. Everyone's grandparents are coming. There's going to be a parade. They're going to expect to beat us. Understood. But the other teams in our division have to go and play way harder schedules than us. Like, way harder.
I'm not certain when homecoming games decided that they had to play against a team that was nicknamed the Eagles, but them Philadelphia Eagles, just to talk about what T and Ken are discussing, yes, everyone in the NFC East has to play 3 NFC East games, and forget about home and away. I'm not even sure what that means in a quarantine season. I'm not. I know that I'd rather sleep in my bed, but if there's not a bunch of people just heckling me or whatever, who cares? The Eagles are looking – because they're sitting right there in first place at 3-4-1, and I do believe 7-9 is automatic. Ding, ding, ding. You win the NFC East. If you get to 7-9, I believe you win it. Here's the Eagles sitting there with that weirdo tie, Ken, that you love discussing.
It hurts a bad team. Hurts a bad team.
It's going to hurt a bad team. I hope you're right because we're going to need that to be the case. They take on the Browns. So after the three NFC East games, they've got the Browns at 5-3, the Seahawks at 6-1, the Packers at 5-2, the Saints at 5-2, and the Cardinals at 5-2. You're talking about 2 first-place teams, 2 and 3 second-place teams. 4 of those 5 are eligible for the playoffs today. The 5th is a half a game out. That's a terrible situation for them. Those boys are 26-10 right now. So hey, Philly, man, good luck. Hang on. Carson Wentz is hanging on every other play. He does not want to see Dirty Chase and Montez coming off either edge ever again.
I mean, they owe him a quadrillion dollars, but if they finish with the number 1 pick, they have to take Trevor Lawrence because there's not enough Carson Wentz to go around for another year or two. He's a shell of a man. He's more dirt and turf than man at this point in time. And the other thing about the rest of the division, and by the way, I love the catchphrase. It's not delivery, it's DiNucci. But I think that's fantastic. I love it. I look at what's happening with that was nice. That was from the board. The idea that 7 wins is going to get it done, and we're going to because I think that's true, and I think that.
That's the high end.
I know.
I think that's the ceiling.
So you're going to have all these losing teams in our division, and I just a few weeks ago you had fans openly rooting against our team because they wanted that number 1 draft pick. And we're not the worst team in the league, so we're not going to get the number 1 draft pick. And you're going to find all these teams that are going to suck out loud, and they're going to be just short of adding like the Trevor Lawrence. It's the heartbreak to go around at the end of the season up into the draft. Is going to be delicious because I never once had a hunger for it, And I love all the people who are going to feel like they're let down. And meanwhile, if the Washington Redskins draft, at number 16, 17, or 18, guess what? We're going to get a starter. We're going to draft someone at that position, and they're going to start for us. You know why? Because we have a lot of holes. And we have a lot of places where a guy can come in and start right away, a safety, a cornerback, an offensive lineman, a wide receiver, you name it. So let someone else worry about who's the worst. We're not the worst. And that might be one of the best things I can say about the Washington football team at this point of the season. And I think it's trending up from there.
And I know who the worst is, and they're in North Texas, and that team is bad. Delivery, DiGiorno, regardless, DiNardo, whoever the hell. And I love James Madison, but when he threw that, like, did he call his shot? He was like 8-ball corner pocket off the blah blah blah, and he sat down there and he snookered it, didn't he? Those boys have no chance. They're 2-6. And they got to take on Pittsburgh without Andy Dalton or with him. It doesn't matter. That's a 2-7 right there. And listen, it makes this game this weekend. I mean, I've never said this before, and I'm having a hard time getting it out. It's huge.
Must win.
This is a huge. You can't say must win, but this is. Hey, this could bury the Giants and put us in a position moving forward with that extra game swing, because everyone else, we're the only team in the NFC East that's had their bye. The next three unfold in the next 3 weeks separately. This is a gigantic game for us, because I think it could kill the Giants and just end anything they have.
Well, so give me the Giants' schedule coming up.
So they got, after us, they got on the road against Joe Burrow, on the road against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks,
Loss.
At home versus Arizona, at
Loss.
home versus Cleveland,
Loss.
and on the road versus Baltimore.
Big loss.
They're in trouble. Philly's in trouble. Dallas's schedule and ours are similar-ish, and we've got the tiebreaker on them. We win this weekend.
I'm surprised Jerry Jones didn't get rid of everything that wasn't nailed down today before the deadline. I'm shocked that he didn't. But again, the Washington football team heading down the home stretch is in perfect position. I do consider this a must-win, just because the path to the playoffs is purely a divisional championship. That's it.
You mean the fine line between division champions and Trevor Lawrence that we've been dancing on?
Yes, you
since
could
the
lose. Second place in this division is going to be like drafting in the top 5. It's going to be crazy.
14 teams will enter the playoffs in other division.
Yes.
Sorry, Redskins and Jets and whoever else.
It's a division play here, T. Division play. And so we already lost the Giants once. Can't afford to lose to them twice. The only way we're getting into the playoffs is by being the best in our division. Got to beat the Giants this week, T.
I agree with you. This is a must-win, not mathematically. It's a must-win in that we can't lose to them again. We need this spark. Coming off a bye, this is big on coaches too. You've got 2 weeks now to get these guys prepared and get ready for one opponent. So this is a must-win game in many respects for the Washington football team. Again, they've got pieces that really like, and there were shades of the old, team at time in our last win. But if they can shore a lot of those things up in a bye week, this bye week is at a perfect time. They can get some momentum, and in football, that's all you need, man. That's all you need. And with the schedule that we've got and what Kevin just laid out for everybody else, I mean, why wouldn't we be the favorite in the NFC East?
I hate to have to say that we are.
We absolutely are.
What the hell, man? We're the damn favorites in the East? That's craziness. And you know what? It's what it is. And guess what? Who cares? What happens if they do adapt this 8-team format and one of these lower seeds have to take on a team that actually won their division? I'm not certain how they're going to hash that out, but I would imagine the 4 division champions would take on
1 through 4.
1 through 4, which means that if you win the division, you don't get a bye for the first time ever as one of the 2 top seeds, which is kind of nuts. So maybe, there's a different way of going about it. I'm not certain. I don't care. We could win the NFC East and win a playoff game.
Yeah.
It's football.
Then lose by 40 the next week. But why not? Let's have some fun. This is a year that we should not worry about this shit. If we could pull off a COVID NFC East championship in the worst division year in the history of sports, At least we're going to have a banner.
Yeah.
We're the champs, aren't we? Like every weird year, we're in the mix and we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Strikes. Strikes. I'm done after that. 2 strikes
Shortened.
and I'm out.
Yeah, strike shortened seasons, and we haven't.
I know, but
gone
the
through
one
many
year was a
pandemics.
1 week strike. I hate when idiots point that in our face. And the strike year when we took care of Dallas when they had Tony Dorsett on the field, that gave us a bye. That was the hugest. Forget about
Ed
it.
Rupert,
Ed Rupert.
Anthony Allen. Wasn't it Anthony Allen?
It was because I
Wide
said
receiver?
he broke all the records, right?
Yeah.
And then we kept him on the squad, even though he was a scab after everyone was fighting the bus outside a week previous. And now those same guys that are fighting the bus all agree. Dexter told us live that they should get their rings. I think that's awesome.
Oh, that was the coolest thing ever when Dexter Manley said that they should get the rings. They should get the rings, and if Dexter says it, make it happen.
Can I just tell a quick tea part of me for 1 second? I have a quick sidebar, and I'll keep us moving. After that night, that show we did with Dexter, and I know all you guys were there listening, John Riggins' daughter happens to go to the high school where my sister works, and there's a relationship there amongst everyone. Regardless, it got back to John Riggins that Dexter Manley, we asked him the question, who is the toughest player on your team? We asked them both, who's the toughest guy you went against, who's the toughest guy on your team? It got back to John Riggins that Dexter said he was. John Riggins reached out to Dexter to let him know, hey, man, thanks. Like that's really cool. Like someone just sent this to me and blah, blah, blah. Dexter just spent the weekend socially distancing at the Riggins household, celebrating Halloween and coming over for her birthday and reconnecting at a level that only quarantine podcasts with the greatest board of all time and a bunch of fatheads from 94 like to talk about. How about that one? That went down. Good stuff, fellas. You guys were all a part of it. I'm talking to the board, not you two.
Yeah, of course. John Riggins is probably still the toughest guy that anyone. I mean, he would try to run through you today if he could. That's one thing that I love about him.
And he's going to take an NFC East title. He doesn't care if you're 2-14 and everyone else is 0-for.
Well, back when he was playing, if you made the playoffs, you got an extra check. That was the beauty of playoff football when we were kids, and that's why there's some people on our board don't even appreciate that. Those guys were playing for dollars. They making the playoffs, and Wilbur Marshall was the first player to take a pay cut to play in the playoffs. The first player. So we signed him as a free agent. He came over from Chicago. His contract, his per game salary was greater in the regular season than the playoffs. He was the only guy. All the other guys, they were like, wait, this guy's taking a pay cut to play the playoffs. First time it ever happened, because the reason why there's so much hatred and animosity in the division, because you win the division, you make the playoffs, you got to check. Nowadays, money's not even a factor. But those guys, they were playing for legitimate ducats.
Well, yeah, it was a different era. It was a different time. They still get bonuses when they get in the playoffs and stuff in Super Bowl now, but it meant more, I think, to more of them back in their day. And I was just getting ready to say, just touching on the scab skins too. I think that taught me something as a kid. Watching that, I learned, not just football lessons, life lessons, but it also grew my love for the sport even more. That year to see, a regular guy who was just delivering groceries the other day can play football. It was awesome. But we are the champions of weird years.
They always told the story about the guy that worked at UPS. There's always a guy from UPS.
Always a UPS guy.
Loved that.
Always a beer truck driver.
Beer truck and a modern day Kinko's. There's been a couple Kinko's guys. Like, I love it. Hey, man.
Now they're Uber drivers.
You can make copies and be a baller. Yeah, exactly. Uber driver, whatever, man.
Yep.
It's tough on those cats these days. But how about, we haven't won a ton of NFC Easts in the last 20, 25 years, but I'll take it. Hey, what we talk about this year, no expectations. If you have no expectations besides Rivera will make us better. And that's what I've said. I want us to be better. And trust me, after week one, we were not better for very long. And a lot of crap happened. We understand that. We talk about it every week. That's why we're here.
Well, that's why
It's
I
fun to
touched
talk
on
about the good stuff, T-Bird, the games, not the off-the-field shit, the actual games.
and that's why I bring up the bye week being, where it is, in our season. The fact now Rivera has a 2 week, opportunity to prepare his team for the fundamental young player mistakes that you can correct, and then the schemes and the repetitions and everything that they need to hit a stride. Man, this is big on the coaches. This is going to be a big, way of seeing how things have changed. And we haven't heard anything. The trade deadline goes, nothing happened. Ryan Kerrigan's still here. He's going to get a bigger role. We've loved him. I don't want to see him go. If they got a chance to win the NFC East and get a chance to get in the playoffs, hell yeah, let's roll.
Oh,
T-Bird, what you said earlier was Uncle Mo. Momentum is what you need, and I love it. And momentum is exactly what we got right now, and we didn't have any of it after week 1 ever. And we haven't had a ton in the past. But listen, when Terry McLaurin stepped up in that locker room and said, I can't believe we didn't win last week because the preparation last week was the best it's been. The preparation this week was equally as good, and we pulled it out. Let's get our bodies right. Let's look out for each other. Let's take care of each other, and let's show up ready to rock and roll. In my mind, T-Bird, McLaurin took us back 2 weeks. No, we didn't get it done going for 2 against the Giants, which if we would have got would put us in prime spot right now. We'd be laughing about who's the favorite.
Super Bowl.
Then we had a week where we took down the Cowboys in Ron Rivera's first game against the Cowboys in a job that he was obviously supposed to take, but instead he took ours, and now we know why. Now we've had the 1 bye week, and now we've got another week to prepare. That, to me, is 4 weeks. That's a month of a young football team with a great head coach heading in the right direction with a schedule that suggests we could win a couple. We could win a couple.
Yeah.
And 5-4 gets it done for the good guys. But let's just yell that real quick. The New York Giants at home. The Detroit Lions on the road at 3-4.
Tie.
The Bengals 2-5-1
Loss.
at home. We're playing at home though, Ken. 2-6
you're
Dallas.
You're talking about the
This is
Giants.
us.
I thought you said Giants.
This is us.
Sorry.
No,
After
I
the
said we
Giants.
play the Giants, then the Lions
a
away,
win.
then Cincinnati at home, who's
That's a
2-5-1. Dallas on Thanksgiving, which
A huge win.
can we talk about that for like 2 minutes
Hey,
later?
well, let's come
Dallas
back.
on Thanksgiving.
Let's
Look,
come back.
San Fran 4-4, Seattle 6-1, Carolina 3-5, and Philly.
Is San Francisco? Do they have any players left?
Well, they don't have the best player on their team.
The two best players.
Well, I don't know how good Garoppolo is. He's about 29th in passing this year, and you know what? He's way more of a great example in the stripper world, in the AAV scenario, than the NFL. AAV, he's more popular in than the NFL. As a man. There's no doubt about it. Correct?
I couldn't agree with you more. I
F
think
him. Listen, the other dude's a monster. I love George.
George
He's-
Kittle
he's-
is so much fun to watch.
He's
He's
awesome.
so dominant,
awesome.
and he deserves everything coming his way. I hate the label that people are trying to put on him that he's fragile. He's gonna come back next year. He's gonna be one of the number 1, number 2 tight end in the league as soon as he's healthy enough to go. And Kyle Shanahan knows how to use a tight end.
We
So-
ain't beating Pittsburgh or Seattle, but the rest,
So Seattle's coming here though, right?
they are. And we've done some weird stuff to Seattle. They've done some weird stuff to us.
I'll
Cross-
give you Pittsburgh, T, but I'm not giving you
Cross-
Seattle.
Cross country is tough. We've talked about it over and over again. It's a weird thing. Look at Vegas puts a lot of weight on that.
Yeah.
If you're a team that goes from one coast to the other, that's a huge deduction.
But how
Weird things
awesome is
happen.
DK Metcalf though? He is so much fun to watch.
He's an animal.
He is so I mean, he's so good. He couldn't be farther away from us. I love guys who play a million miles away from my team in another division on another planet.
Don't hurt me.
Just stay over there. Stay on the opposite side of the country. Literally, you can't be any farther away from me right now than Seattle. So guess what? I love him. I think he's amazing. I watch Seattle Seahawks games religiously.
He needs to follow Russell Wilson wherever he goes forever, because that's
Yeah.
a tremendous combo, and that's synergy right there.
Yeah, but just get the ball to DK Metcalf,
True.
which Russell
but,
Wilson knows how to do well.
They both. Hey, a high tide raises both ships in that
That's true.
scenario.
That's true. So I'll give you Pittsburgh. God, that week's gonna be tough. Can we get a scab team for that week? Just give our guys a week off.
I'm sorry, but we ain't beating Seattle.
Maybe so. I'm just saying I'm not writing that one off the way I'm writing Pittsburgh off. It's two different games to me.
And it's Seattle.
Maybe the same
playing
outcome. What's that?
Is Seattle playing all their starters? Or they could take that week off.
Now it's week 15. They're going to be in the mix. The NFC West, this new playoff system, today, the whole NFC West is in. That's 4 of the 8 slots. Then you have the other 3 champions, so there's 7. So then there's a battle for who's in next. And that battle ain't coming from the NFC East. And not the West, because they're added teams. So good luck out there with the, the Central. It's so crazy to me. It's a crazy year, but I'm happy there's football. And I can't believe that as of mid-season, we're 2-5 and favored to win the East in the basement.
To win the East.
In the basement, specifically.
Sunday.
Okay.
What time should we be at your house? And what can we bring? I mean, let's be honest.
Hey, let's do it again, man. I missed you guys this weekend.
Don't get me emotional. Damn it, T.
No.
Don't even think about getting me emotional.
It was a tough weekend, man. Halloween was great. I had a good time. Woke up Sunday, didn't have much to do. Again, I did. It was like Ricky Bobby.
I mean, aside from taking off the Flavor Flav clock and the huge bear mascot head, you didn't have much to do on Sunday morning. That's true. Every year with the Flavor Flav clock with this guy on Halloween. I'm not going to lie, it's money, but it gets the job done.
Yeah.
I can
the full chain Flavor Flav clock. But, T's also has the second hand and the old school red second one. Flavor Flav.
What's a brother know? I'm just saying.
Keep it true.
We're on separate genres right now.
No, Flavor Flav was part of Public Enemy.
Well, that was a disgusting time in his career. In 1989, he was with Chuck D.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm saying Chuck D is my man.
Right.
As you can obviously, I mean, I'm sure everyone just assumes.
You said Death Row. I was thinking,
What's your brother know?
911's a joke, man. Come on, that's what T-Bird's whole Halloween costume is. Let's keep it moving. I apologize to the board and anyone else listening for my distraction. And I was not going to tell you guys what it was for Halloween, but because it really
turn
wasn't
it up
anything
and
good.
bring the noise. That's all I got to say about that. Greg
Were
Martin.
you SpongeBob?
SpongeBob.
No.
You know SpongeBob.
Yeah, man.
Come on, dude. SpongeBob.
I'm not going SpongeBob.
Really?
Like
Funny, somebody SpongeBob.
I got
one of my sisters. Hold on. Did you have a drone? Did you have a drone?
No, it's all pictures on social.
Just so you know, people are watching this from this camera. We're looking over here to see T on the screen. What?
It's really cool.
All right. Well, okay.
That's true. It is hard to look at the camera and then look at T talking and then the camera.
I'm going to move the screen closer to the camera next time, so it's a little bit more, because people think like, oh, these guys can't. They look like they're looking away, like they don't know what to look at.
Right. Let me
like
ask
Ricky
you this.
Bobby eyes.
How do you look at the camera? What do you do? Like,
sometimes I just look over the camera. I think about AGH. I think like I'm sitting in Kensington, Maryland, and I'm making eye contact with a dude in Wales, United Kingdom, who didn't even vote today for an American president. It's ridiculous to me. I don't even know how that's possible, but he didn't do it.
I wish he could have.
Nasta, all the way to all my brothers on the other side of the drink tonight. Appreciate you guys. All right, so we're about 29 minutes in. I figure we'll get out on something fun. We'll start our slow descent to our moon landing. Positives, things that are making this season fun, things that are making it a good return to sports, a good feel of normal, and ultimately a reason to not be focused on stupid fan stuff that we've been focused on in the past. At this point of the season, we've been out of it a million times over. So that's not the case now. And so I want to establish this point of our climb. 7 weeks of games in, 8 weeks after the bye. We're kind of setting up I like to call this is our base camp. We've been 6-2 after the first half of the season. We've been 5-3. We've been these things that have made us think certain things about our team. Like we had a chance. We can go through them with the Shanahans and the Zorns, even the Gibbs at different times, and it was a different story in the second half of the season, and we know that intimately. And yet the different story for us in the second half of a season that starts at 2-5, well, that could be something to behold. Because 5 wins, that's all we need from here on out, 5 wins to put...
The drive for 5.
The drive for 5. To put 2020 on a banner at FedEx Field. That's what it's going to take. And I think that's a worthy goal. I think that is something we can absolutely put our sights on, T. I think that is absolutely something that we can say that's possible, and it's not just possible, it's likely. And it's crazy.
It's 2020, dude. Anything can freaking happen. But as weird as it's been in 2020, to answer your original question, I believe, what's there to be positive and feel more normal about these days is that, the weather's changing.
Okay.
I love this time of year. It feels and smells like football. And when you see a guy, as we were talking about earlier, like a guy like Terry McLaurin, who has established himself this early in his career as a guy who works hard and is there as well, finally speak up after a big win like that, he sounded a little sheepish. He didn't sound like he was quite comfortable yet with it, but I think it hit home with veterans and his peers alike. And we got guys like that. We got guys like Chase. We got guys like Kendall Fuller. We got guys like Jonathan Allen. We got, some great pieces. And we got money coming up in the future that we can spend on other first-round picks from other teams that contract are coming up. We got some good things to look forward to. And now that the fact that we actually do have a chance to get into a playoff scenario, hey, man, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving.
The Thanksgiving game against Dallas, you won in a couple minutes. Now's the time, because that takes on an all-new meaning for us.
I said it today at the house when all the family stuff came in, and from a huge family, you got to figure out who's going where, what year, what the deal is. Well, this is a home year, a home game for the Ricca family, and the last time it was a home game for the Ricca family, as it worked out amongst every other year, was RG3 ripping Tony Romo and Newen down to in North Texas. Same deal. I love the fact that Ron Rivera has taken us down there on Thanksgiving, because you know who I trust coaching my ball squad on Thanksgiving is Ron Rivera. He's the guy. I want to hear about his story on Thanksgiving. I do. I want to. It's the perfect thing for a Washington Redskin fan that's had to deal with some terrible thing that happened on Thanksgiving Wednesday, way before the leader of our program, who's putting everything back together where we would like it. At some level, we'll see where that level gets, but what a big job to choose from. And I'm very thankful that Ron Rivera is the guy that decided to take this job. And Thanksgiving, with all the pomp and circumstance, with Ron Rivera, with us about to take Dallas down for the second time, 2-0 in your rookie season while fighting cancer, beating the Dallas Cowboys on your way to winning the NFC East is one hell of a way to start your coaching career right here in D.C. I don't think anyone's come close.
And it's the perfect year for this game on Thanksgiving, the bubble year, the pandemic year, the socially distanced year. Everyone's going to have to watch this game. And to some extent, I'm sorry to the whole rest of the world that this is going to be the game that's on during your dinner. Yeah. I understand this isn't what you wanted.
I understand that.
A couple of terrible teams duking it out for the scraps of the NFC East. That's fine. But guess what? you get it. Take all that BS out of it for a second, and just, if you could, just think about us. Think about us sitting in our house, thinking to ourselves, we could go to the playoffs based on this game. We could dominate and end up owning a division based on that game, based on the game that no one outside of our fan bases want to watch.
But the national fan base will be rooting for us because everyone hates the Cowboys.
Everyone
it's
hates
one of
the Cowboys.
Sweetness.
They're going to be rooting for us. And I guess, T, the only thing I would just want to finish up with that is to say that the glory of the Thanksgiving Day games is that it's the only thing on TV and everyone has to watch it. And I love that they're going to get the Ron Rivera angle, and I love that they're going to get, they're going to get, people are going to talk about the Jonathan Allen and Terry McLaurin, and that's fine. And hopefully and Chase Young, and hopefully it's not a terrible game to watch. But for us, it is so beyond meaningful because, as I said before, okay, a bad team might win this division, and the second place team is going to pick in the top 5, and it's going to be stupid. But on that day, people are going to be able, hopefully, to share with us our trek up that mountain towards winning 5 wins.
Well, first of all, I disagree with you on the insignificance of this game to the national audience. Now, I'm not a Lions fan. I don't hate them. They're the Lions. Who cares? They've sucked the majority of my life. Mm-hmm. But I religiously watch them on Thanksgiving.
Of course.
And it's not Thanksgiving if I don't, which I think it's the same thing with Dallas and the rest of the world. And for us to have this game, which is not the first time, we've actually had this done quite a bit. In 2020, it's probably, appropriate to have this because it's as close to normal as we're going to feel on Thanksgiving in a year like this. It's awesome. I think the national audience is going to be totally tuned in, no matter how awful the product may actually be or how low or high.
Okay, then we agree. I mean, you can feed a starving man a pile of poop. He's going to be like, "Thank you so much for this poop." But
hey, I miss putting lipstick on a pig. You got to something make it feel great.
I thought you were going to go Eddie Murphy's saltine, best saltine I ever ate.
Best saltine I ever ate.
But a pile of poop. Listen, we're going to stuff 2 birds on Thanksgiving. There's going to be a turkey, and the Eagles are going to get stuffed because that's the day that we're going to brand the Cowboys, and we're going to do it amongst our family. And I'm with T. If the whole nation's watching the football game, I imagine, in my estimations, that 91% of said nation is watching going, look at the damn Redskins are taking it to the Cowboys again. Happy Thanksgiving, baby. From all over the greatest country that God's ever created. And, today's a day that people are having those conversations. And we're talking about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're talking about Thanksgiving. Forget about all the other stuff.
Thanksgiving's my favorite, by the way, fellas. It's my favorite. Family, football, friends, food. There's no presence. There's no pressure. Just get to a place to have a great time.
The timing of the placement of Thanksgiving on Thursday is the sneakiest greatness of Thanksgiving in my mind. Because even if some jerk company boss place wants to make you work on Friday, like Walmart or Target, so like the whole world can come in and fight over your stuff, you still got a whole weekend to get over that Thursday. But really, from Wednesday, it's Wednesday night all the way through Sunday. Bring it on.
Oh, it doesn't stop.
That's the glory of Thanksgiving.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. It's closely rivaled by the week between Christmas and New Year's. It's a strong, but there's so many expectations. It has to be, New Year's has to be awesome. New Year's Eve has to be awesome. Christmas, but
you've already spent all your money, man.
And you're done. But Thanksgiving kicks it all off. That's when you set the tone, and that's when all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, the holiday season is here. It's time to get it on. I need to get some pumpkin lattes and make it happen.
That's why pumpkin lattes are part of the liver workout. You got to start right. You got to start. You got to start in September if you're going to get after it. But Halloween is your last ditch effort. You have 3 weeks to prepare said liver for the night T-Bird proposed to his lovely wife Leslie, Thanksgiving Wednesday, all the way through January 2nd. That is a big ass stretch.
It is
of brown liquor. I'm just going to say it right out in the open.
The best guy.
It could be clear. It could be.
I'm
You
a
know.
clear man, but not this time of year. This time of year, give me the bourbon.
You got to go
Give me
with
the
bourbon
whiskey.
or Irish whiskey. Stay away from that Scotch, boys. It's
I'm not a
it's not for
Scotch
you.
man.
It's not for you.
Hey, God, you guys are just killing everybody. Scott, I'm a Scot. Scotch is great.
Being Scotch is okay. Scotch tape, love it. Think it's amazing.
Eric Anderson knows what I'm talking about. Have a
Not
little
Scottish,
Glenwood.
it's crap. But hey,
What?
what city does your family? Where do they
Hail
originate
from.
from? Hale.
That would be Peterhead, Scotland, the easternmost port of Scotland.
Yes.
All right, AGH
I heard there's
is Googling it now.
It's an isthmus, and there's a big mountain right at the base. Two big mountains, but I think the isthmus is just a regular.
That's like on the
isthmus right
field
there,
sobriety test. If you can still say isthmus,
Yeah.
the cop's like,
Sure.
"Sir, you're good. Drive away. Have a great night." Isthmus. Pretty good pool.
It's crazy that my friend's family is from Peterhead, Scotland, and I'm from. Well, actually, I'm kind of where from the Marangolas are from, just down below. Your boot was kicking the ball. I was
Yeah.
part of the ball. I apologize.
Calabrese, Italy. That is where the Marangolos hail from. Tell you what, guys, we did it. The bye week is over. We are full sights set on
Double bye week celebration.
double bye week celebration.
Yeah.
The double bye week, obviously, of course. The end of the day, we have ourselves one heck of a matchup coming up on Sunday against the New York Football Giants. Get ready. Get yourself in the right state of mind, and whatever you do, get yourself to tees before kickoff. Okay, we're not going to pause the game. We're not going to pause the game. We're just going to make sure everyone knows get there on time.
Yeah, bring your own bowl because that chili's going fast.
That chili will not. You can put it in your hand, but it's hot. It's hot. You want to make sure, and it's bean centric. So be careful. You might want to start a bean regiment today. Just a handful of beans every day. Just get yourself ready.
I've been on beans forever.
I'm gonna change the rate.
Okay. Well, a little more meat.
I'm gonna change.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put more meat.
All right. We'll see what happens.
He's gonna dip his balls in it.
No, he's
Gonna
gonna
dip his balls in it.
He's probably gonna dip.
He
his
has
balls
that
in it.
look on his face right now.
By the way, the state, happy anniversary to the state over on MTV. Louis, the famous character who brought I'm going to dip my balls in it. Look it up. It was an amazing skit.
I'll dip my balls in it.
Check it out. It was Ken Marino. He is now a superstar. You've seen him in a million movies, and that's how he started. He was the I'm going to dip my balls in it guy. Turned out to be quite a career move for him. Smart. I tip my hat to you, sir. That was genius. Genius.
There's only one other way you could tip it.
I'm
glad he chose that Nats lid.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports and Basement Podcast Studios all around this land, he's Tim Strachan.
We once again proved that we went a minute and a half too long.
I don't know.
Sorry, everybody.
I'm going to disagree with you.
We extended it, but we didn't clean it up at all.
No, you have to
the end there.
give time
But
for the cleansing. Clean it up, Kev.
That's coming from a guy who's 2.5 inches too short tonight. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you're going to give me the final word when you say T first, and I get to say something like, all right, like, it's not too long. T's going to say it was a very strong show. It was a very thick show. But on election night, who knows what the hell is going on. I'm just happy to be spending it with the both of you guys. I'd vote for both of you. Couldn't not vote for either of you. And we got a good deal going on down here. Our second election night tells me that it is. Because if we weren't any good, we wouldn't be down here anymore.
Yeah.
And that was 4 years ago. We were here for like 50 years before that, so whatever.
I can't wait for the next presidential election with you gents.
Yes, sir.
That'll be 4 years from now. And as recommended by the boys on the board, toast to a victory on Sunday. I do believe we have one coming our way.
Hell yeah.
I will be looking forward to watching that with all of you and coming back on Tuesday night next next week to talk about how we did it and where we stand in the landscape of the NFC East. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I am Ken Marangolo, and this was, thank God, it's Tuesday, and we are still live.
We're going to take this damn East, and we're going to have a damn celebration. I'm not apologizing to nobody.
Nor should you. But I want to make sure Eric Anderson knows we're still live.
We're still live.